What's up, y'all? So as I've always said, the show has definitely been something that I've used. Give me a second. So I've kind of always said the show's always been something that I've used for my own mental health. So we're gonna do a show tonight. I'm gonna be 1,000. We're only streaming to 2 different services because my phones aren't plugged in. Because we didn't get home until 7 this morning or some shit. So anyways, so we're gonna do a little mini show. For those that don't know what's I didn't do a show this morning because my daughter got into a pretty bad car accident last night. But we're gonna do a show. And I'm gonna be honest, because sometimes even though I don't feel like doing it, I almost kind of feel like I need to do it right now. You know, because I don't know how the show is gonna look tonight, you guys. Just bear with me. I've never really done a show when I'm completely. I'm not manic right now, but I'm at the tail end of being manic. My adrenaline's finally coming down, stuff like that. So we are going to play some music. She's fine, as far as physically fine, but unfortunately she's drinking and driving, and so while she's out of the hospital and she's physically good, I don't know what her future looks like right now. You get behind the wheel, it's a huge responsibility. Luckily, nobody was hurt in the car accident severely, but all of them did go to the hospital. Katie was airlifted to Hudson. Carrie and Austin went to Dade City. So I'm just, I was already manic before this happened. So we are going to rock and roll to a show. And like I said, I don't know what tonight's show is going to look like, but I'm going to be honest. I'm doing this show for me tonight. So I'm going to need y'all to kind of send me some music and help me get in the right mood. Mental health's a bitch, right? So grab your balls, grab your bongs, grab your blunts, grab your bottles, whatever you into. And let's do a little show, okay? You guys know that I've talked about from the get-go that, you know, the online forum is how I heal. I've told you guys that before, because I really don't know where I'd be at with my mental health without my music, without the connections there. Big shout out to my best friend and the girl ladies at the Besticles for carrying me through last night and today. My best friend Brandy probably knows where I'm at more than anybody else does, emotionally and mentally. I appreciate the post that you did earlier. Let's rock and roll, you guys. Music is healing. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some music. We're gonna get out of this mind state that I have, and we're gonna do some healing. Okay. You so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend? Why is she acting kinda shady? You so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend? Why she acting kinda shady? Step up in the trap game, they call me Momma Rapper.
So you got that good.
Reaper man, I got that snapper. Straight out of Tampa, tell your girl I can nap her, and it tastes like candy. Do you wanna smell the wrapper?
Say it loud.
Mama, make it clear. Other rapping chicks ain't stopping nothing up in here. Bringing up the rear, Mama Rapper took the trail. sit it in gear.
Reaper man, just grab it. Curl that tongue on me, daddy. Lick it before you stab it. Beat it up like
Silly rabbit, own it and you can have it.
taxi cab it. Mama flow, make it go to your eardrum. Mama, make it come. Pussy smell like bubble gum. Tampa's where I'm from. I'ma suck it till it's numb. Your girl is hating on me, cause I'm making the income.
I'm a rapper, you's a bad bitch. The trap gon' make us rich and we ain't fucking with no snitch.
Reaper man, you so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend? Why she acting kinda shady?
I'm a rapper, you's a bad bitch. The trap gon' make us rich and we ain't fucking with no snitch.
Reaper man, you so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend? Why she acting kinda shady?
Well, I'm the Reaper man, only Reaper man can take the trap game and extend its lifespan. I'm so freezing that I'm cold, I look like a snowman. The E-World clan, mama's wish is my command.
Tell them how it goes, Reaper man.
Fuck them hoes, it's SoundCloud for life, and this is how it goes. Ice on my rims, I got the whole street froze.
She's
Pussy
aight.
niggas get exposed, play them hoes like dominoes.
She's physically high. So,
Pockets on swole, I'm in control. Day for day and no parole. I broke the mold, let the flow unfold. Collaboration with the Momma Patrol. They wanna be like me, but they lack the drive. I'm like the Jackson 5. I'ma keep trap alive. I'm always gonna strive and never be deprived. A new king and queen of trap. Reaper man and Mama rapper, we have arrived. The Mama rapper, you's a bad bitch. The trap gon' make us rich and we ain't fucking with no snitch.
Reaper man, you so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend? Why she acting kinda shady?
Mama rapper, you's a bad bitch. The trap gon' make
if you have music, please send it over now.
Reaper man, you so funny, baby. Is that your girlfriend?
Why she acting kinda shady? So yeah, thank you, Maggie. My daughter is fine, which that's a relief, right? You know what I'm saying? Like as a parent, you get a phone call like that, and unfortunately, it's not the first phone call that I've received in the past year. My daughter is 21 now, and she's going through a lot. And sometimes, our perception of life, we think that we're just invincible at that age, And sometimes we don't realize that our actions are going to have some pretty serious consequences, and I don't even think it's really set into her quite yet, as far as how serious this is. But it's serious. So, and that's hard to deal with as a parent. It's hard to... it's just hard. But if you do, I want to spend some time on music, you guys, today. Like I said, let's play some music. Unfortunately, like I said, I had Katie young. I was 17 when I got pregnant with her. I was 18 when I had her. And by no means do I ever condone drinking and driving. There's some confusion as far as exactly who was driving, but at this point, she's saying that she is the one that's driving. She also said it wasn't her driving. We don't know. So, but at any rate, and we don't really know what's going to happen out of it. So, but the most important thing is that she survived the car accident. Nobody got severely hurt, but. No parent wants that phone call. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, me and her father have gotten that phone call. Not car accidents, but just a variety of different incidences over the past year. Some could say that it's just being young and and irresponsible. Some can say it's a destructive path. It's a representation of some mental health issues going on. But really, we really don't know. She is an adult, so these consequences that she's about to have to face are definitely going to be her to own. And it's going to be a hard life lesson to learn, especially at such a young age. Sometimes it's necessary. But like I said, I've told you guys for a long time, the show is, my online presence is definitely a coping mechanism for me and my mental health issues. I have CPTSD, which from that stems a lot of other shit. If it's a mental health disorder, my CPTSD, it's probably in there somewhere. ODD, ADHD, ADD, I mean, it just all boils down to CPTSD. And it's really hard to not involve your own personal feelings when it has to do with the only life that you've given, the only birth that I've ever had. So when you see them on kind of like a very reckless path of destruction, when you're fighting to save your own life every day with your own mental bullshit, it's a very complex situation that we're all in right now. But there are people that are going through things that are way worse that were not at their own hand. So, everybody goes through things, and everybody has consequences of their actions. But it still doesn't help the mom in this situation, does it? So, and while I'm laughing, we all know that the laughing is just a coping mechanism. I've talked about it before. But let's go ahead and get some music in the rotation. It's not a formulated show. I'm really doing this to kind of give myself and Greg some peace of mind while he's at work and I'm home alone. Modern Day Slave, Ruger the Butcher, and Chris Styles. Sorry. Thank you, Maggie. That's a good song.
If I should die today, shit I did it to free my people, can't take my history. I got culture in my feature, why they pick these mysteries like it wasn't in the scriptures. Unite for the fallen from the beast, blue eyes, pale skin, no creed. Who could it be? So much shit going on, look, they pointing at me while they blaming the streets, aiming for peace while they aiming the peace while we killing police.
Yeah, they say it's the land of the free, the home of the brave. More like the land of the lies and the home of the slaves. Born in the streets while I'm dying in the cage. One foot in the chain and the other in the grave. Mama used to tell me, baby, don't you be afraid. You gon' stand for something or you fall for anything. Right or wrong, they gon' touch me anyway. Executed in the street. Say my grace before I eat and my prayers before I sleep. If I die before I wake, dead Lord, my soul to take. You can never break me. Born from this concrete, blood in the gravel. Sins me before they bang the devil. Pigment in my skin. The reason that they fear us, destined for this greatness. Probably why they hate this. Justice, no peace. Justice, police. Strange fruit hanging from the trees. Made it hard to live. Now I'm fighting just to breathe. Same fight my fathers fought just for me. Justice, no peace. Justice, no peace. No peace, no justice.
Look, you can see the tears in my eyes. With their fear, their surprise. I can let my brother fall. I won't let my sister drown. I can let my kids be tortured. It's the message here, the crown. We were born to be kings, and we couldn't look around. We fought fights at the fight, and we never stepped down. Up nights at the nights, build the legacy of trials. So when we fight,
the video to this is coming out tomorrow.
Star prophecies in the night when we strike. I stand tall for my mother. Shit, they only one to love her. I stand tall for my father. Black
What's
pride
up,
stuck
Black
with
Ash?
I stand tall for my people.
They will never treat
That's
us.
why we gotta fight fire, or fire become a demon. Yeah, for every reason we march, for every soul we breathe. believing. For every ancestor gone, they start a war for great meaning. We start a war on our own. Now let's make them believe it. I can't stand on my own. Shit, we want as a people. Dear Father, please help us. Cause they ain't. They wanna kill us and mistreat us for no reason. I guess because it's hunting season. Look, they told us to stay down, but look at their faces now. Every Uncle Tom mission was to keep our faith down. They say dogs are good people just so they can mislead us. So we never been free, so we never been equal. If I should die today, then my kids should be the sequel. Just fight on. For the cause, for my people, just fight on. Yeah, just fight on. Look, if I should die today, shit, I did it to free my people. Can't take my history. I got culture in my feature. Why they paint these mysteries like it wasn't in the scriptures? Unite for the fallen from the beast. Blue eyes, pale skin, no creed. Who could it be? So much shit going on. Look, they praying at me while they blaming the streets. Aiming for peace while they aiming for peace. While we killing brothers.
Hey, what's up, Black Cash? Let's listen to this one too. This is Dreamin' by Prince Sosa, Styles, and Ruga. It's a good song. Black Cash, can I play Chosen?
Dreaming about the days I can never get back. Wishing you were here, even in spirit. I still feel you near. Your energy is infinite, a dreamer's dream. When I close my eyes, as vivid as it seems, teaching me all the things it was to be a man. Show me how to box, how to hold my hands. Talk to the ladies, school me to romance. Never got the chance, a dreamer's dream, never fall.
It's Ligma 80. These good gentlemen are set up. September 11th, imagine that. September 11th, Ligma 80 will be on our show. So don't forget to tune into our Facebook live shows. Starting August 31st with Emmanuel X, we will be running artist interviews starting on the show beginning that date. We have Emmanuel X on August 31st, September 2nd, Young G Folks, September 4th, Wally G, September 5th, Lil Yaz, September 5th, Pinky B, September 9th, TJ Beezy, September 11th, Ligma 80, September 18th, DJ Mikey Taking Flight, 19th, Tito 700, 19th, Chayton Fox, October 3rd, Wild Bless and Fat Music, October 17th, 2-Tank. What?
How the fuck we gon' live? You ain't focused on the bag. I could've put on the mask. What's the reason for that? When most of these bodies dropping, grew up without a dad. Big dreams, small world. Shit, we living in the past. Broken heart, broken bones. While we living through the glass. Phone calls, JPay. Wishing we had time to laugh. I seen your daughter last week. She always asking about her dad. Shit, the pain gets stronger. As the kid grew smarter, you knew we down for some time. Through the rain, through the torture, you know I'm here to support you. Cause you my brother, different father, same mother. Cause the streets raised us. You held it down, here's the crown. Cause you the street favorite. When you touch down, I got 4 words for you, nigga. We made it.
This is Chris Styles, Prince Sosa, and Ruga the Butcher with Dreamin'.
Always wishing on a star, but it was never that far. Deep inside a dream of thought, where it's even in the heart. But most sheep try to put you in the dark. Say everything you believe is too hard, or the price you pay, it really costs. Real opportunity to be a boss, level up to be a star. Something that you wish you really want. Hey, fuck the hate, be good where they are, be true and chase who you are. Big dream of reality, pussy, I'm just working hard. Rapper, trapper, father, porn star. Fuck you mean, boy, dick foreign. Come as I lick her heart. Imagery, Salvador Dali, yeah, I can talk all the day about the guns and the bitches. But why when we kings and queens and start unconscious, just need to wake up. Supernova here to create a new meaning, bruh. Fuck what they feed us and how the media mislead us.
Big shout out. That is, of course, Chris Styles, Ruga the Butcher, and Prince Sosa. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm trying to do a blog post too. It's helping. It's helping. It's helping. It's helping. So We're Gonna Butcher has a video coming out tomorrow, you guys. What's up, Catherine? How are you, love? So that will be coming out tomorrow for Modern Day Slave. I'm totally excited to see that. Ligament 80 will be on the show, which is a gentleman that I just got done playing on September 11th. I'm definitely excited about all that's coming in September. We have a huge lineup. I still have a lot of artists that I have to send out invites to, but I could not be more excited about it, you guys. This is an impromptu show, and I'm really doing this, like I said, just even though I'm not really in the mood. Sometimes we got to do things when we're not in the mood to get ourselves out of our moods, you know what I'm saying? But for those that are asking about my daughter, she is fine. For those that don't know, she was bailiffed last night from a car accident. But she is okay. She is already out of the hospital. She got released this morning. She's a little banged up, but all is well with all of them. They're all physically okay. So that is all that really matters at this point. As far as what happens next, we don't know. There's going to be consequences to some people's actions. So whoever was drinking and whoever was driving, if it was my child, she's going to have consequences to deal with. And those are some pretty severe consequences, and justifiably so. I mean, if the tables were turned and don't drink and drive. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't. So I'm doing the show basically to try to get my head in a better spot. I was actually manic before this happened. I had been manic for a few days before this situation. So I am, and for those that don't know what, when people go manic and it's a highs and lows. So, but I'm at the tail end of it where I'm a little numb. So I might space out a little bit during the show, but just stick with it. Send me your music. That's all I really want from people today. I just want you guys to send me your music. I'm going to play Chosen by Black Cash. Thank you for, of course, tuning in. Black Cash is from over at Twitter. Big shout out to you for, of course, tuning in. I love the vibes. I'm going to go ahead. Can I add this also to my live show playlist as well? I've added it to my hip-hop groups. I'm going to have several playlists that I add people's music to, some show highlights that are going to be going on. In September, we are going to kick off on August 31st for the September shows with artist interviews. We have a huge lineup. I hope you guys, of course, like I said, tune in. I might be incredibly repetitive because I feel almost robotic right now, but that is kind of mental health's a motherfucker. And while most people wouldn't go on live and do this right now, and I was kind of tossing back and forth whether or not I should or shouldn't, I think that
dozens of American cities up in flames.
I think it's just
after some protests
we're going
turned into riots.
This is Black Cash. This is Chosen.
Cause I need to be. As a man, I gotta handle my priorities. Bills piling up. Daughter need clothes quick and rent's due, no matter what. Ain't that some cold shit? I put my pride to the side, I'm so unapologetic. So if you're looking for sorry, then you won't hardly get it. Eyes all bloody, lungs full of smoke. It's the prison of the streets, yet I find a way to cope.
If you have music,
By my neck,
send it over to me on Facebook.
10 toes on the edge as I'm staring on the slope.
But not like sad shit. Don't be sending me any sad shit. Like, send me some rap shit, some grunge shit, some like gangster shit. Like, don't be sending me any like crying shit today.
The breaststroke, I'm choking on that mental trauma that I couldn't let go. It's strange how I'm still affected by those things now. Made me to the man I am today, and I can see how, if I'm afflicted, will I find my gift and sit and think of all these rhymes like this? Dear Lord, do I fall like this, or do I fight back and ball my fist? Show me the way if I'm wrong. Help me put it in song. Paint me a picture on the throne. Don't let me suffer alone. Mistakes will be made in the mind of the wise, and the truth is never that when it's comprised of lies. And yet I try to live my life with peace with God of a religion that wasn't given to me. You understand?
It's very fluid. You can see police here now firing tear gas into the crowd. They are trying to push these folks back. Earlier Today, just a few blocks away, there was looting underway nearby. Police seem to have had enough.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos.
Lord forgive me. I'm just a man in the scheme of your grand design. I just couldn't find a plan. Piece of the puzzle I get, but really does it fit into the picture that they trying to present? And they wonder why I'm mad, an angry individual. My flesh offends and isn't part of the visual that they have for America. Ain't nothing scarier. The prey is being treated like the predator. 400 years, and still to this day, we fighting for reparations that they never gonna pay. Peaceful protests, peaceful marches. Black folks still the one being hit with the charges. This isn't right, and that's facts. On a race that's all black, they trying to hide a systematic attack. There's no help for the helpless, pity for the weak. I lift my cup to the streets. No justice, no peace. And I'm ready without the slightest hesitation to break down the illusion and the walls they create. Pay attention to the glitches in the matrix. Things never what they seem. Pay attention to the shapeshift.
The scene in Minneapolis last night is captured in still photos. Police and the National Guard arresting protesters for defying a curfew imposed for the second straight night. Protests over the death of George Floyd, the black man who died in the custody of a white police officer, have continued in the city now for 6 days and 6 nights, and they have spread well beyond Minneapolis, right across the United States into dozens of cities and Canada and other countries around the world. But let's take you to the place where it began.
Big shout out. That was Boss Life Music presenting Chosen by Black Cash. Big shout out to him. He is definitely a huge, I'm going to add it to all my, so I have several playlists, you guys. So if I come across your music and for some whatever reason, it's going to probably be put in hip hop groups or preferred music on YouTube. I also have other playlists on SoundCloud and Spotify too. And then I have the Momma Rapper News Network, which is the list of songs that I have permission to play during all of my live feeds. So that's what I was asking about Black Cash. I was just making sure I could add that to that list so that whenever you're not here, I can still play your music. That is definitely a vibe right there, plus a message delivered. And, you know, that's one thing I can say about a lot of the people on my feed. You know, somebody the other day, I went over it, I think Wednesday, not somebody the other day, but Carrie. She was talking to some people at IHOP, right? And mind you, these are some 20-year-old kids, right? And like, lyricist is you. My music's different. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm a lyricist at the end of the day. And really, I was only a writer. And my daughter said, "Hey, mom, you add some beats to that." Da 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 da. So, anyways, and I guess I've always kind of talked, you know, played around with her and rhyme. So like, it always kind of sounded like I was always rapping to her. But anyways, like a lot of people, she was trying to explain to somebody like what kind of music I have, and like, since my music's different and it's not really mainstream or whatever, she really didn't know how to describe it. And I was like, I'm a lyricist, Carrie. I have unique music. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not your mainstream music. It's not going to be, most of my shit's too explicit to even put on the radio anyways. And nor would I want it to be on the radio, like a regular radio, because it's not for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it is on Pandora, it's on iHeart. I am monetized. I got monetized off a song I made my child through SoundCloud, so I'm fully distributed. My music does pretty well. I have a nice forum, and the reason why is because of the fact that I'm a lyricist. So Black Cash is talking about his message delivered, absolutely. And just like with Ruga, and if you really listen to what Ruga was talking about, modern day slave, I mean, these are songs that are very prevalent right now, and the issues that are going on. So I mean, we have some severe worldly problems going on too right now. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all are checking the news every day for that stimulus check? How many people are now hitting food banks that they haven't hit before? Because like, I listen to the news reports. You know what I'm saying? And while we don't talk politics and all that other stuff on the show, because y'all know that for one, I'm Irish and I'm American. I'm an American native, so I don't really believe in the judicial or the governmental system. I do and I don't. Like, it's a very complex thing, but I think that there's definitely some necessary things that we have to have, but I also think that a lot of it could just be ran completely different. I mean, really our government's ran on who's going to have control over who by who has most power over governmental bullshit, that at the end of the day we're just all trying to live and survive, and they're just taxing our asses and living Gucci for it. So I'm saying that it's all for this and all for that, but like how much of that money actually goes to everybody else whenever these people making $500,000 a year, how much is actually going down? I mean, I haven't heard any cops say I make so much money. Never heard anybody that actually works for the government say, hey, we make such good money, except for people that are at the top of that governmental system, but whatever. So we really don't talk about politics too much around here, other than the fact that you guys know I don't believe in the shit. But this is going to be the first year that I'm voting. I was really kind of hoping that, like, a unicorn or something would be put on the ballots that, like, I could vote for. Like, I don't know. Maybe they should just, like, do a ET or something, like somebody that's just non-existent. Like, let's have them run the shit, because I feel like somebody non-existent would probably run the shit better. I don't know. But a lot of the music that I play, it definitely has to do with stomping out oppression. It has to do with acceptance, love, how to deal with mental health, how to deal with people that do try to oppress you. Like, for those that don't know, I am a survivor. I have CPTSD, not from that relationship. I have complex PTSD. So it's not just from him. But we all got head problems. Just some of us recognize it over others, and those of us that recognize it, of course, we're always the one that look like the head cases, because we're open about it, we talk about it, and because we have to understand it ourselves, right? Like, mental health is such a fucky thing that, like, when you do have serious mental health issues, you really don't understand them yourself. So, like, you try to educate yourself about them. Like, if y'all, like, I spend a lot of time researching mental health and all kinds of bullshit, and, like, because I try to understand other people's, and actually I do. Most of the time, whenever I see somebody do some dumb shit, I can pretty much probably figure out why they did it. It's because they this, that, and the other, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, it circles back, the long and the short of all of that, because I'm definitely rambling on, but at least I'm talking and not crying, which is definitely a progression from over the last 24 hours. A lot of the lyricists on my page, you know, they're talking about some real worldly shit. You just have to be able to open up your ears. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of, and even, you know, the only song that I pretty much have on my feed that really don't talk about some really serious shit is, I think, well, no, because Turk Switty All Stars, and we're about to play that. Even though it's about twerking, whenever he drops those bars, man, he goes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still a lyricist, which that actually is Manny Gamboa. That's Emmanuel X. And actually, since I'm talking about him, I wonder if his ears are burning. Do y'all ever have that happen? Like, whenever I'm talking about y'all on the show, do y'all know? Like, is your ears burning? Like, do you start feeling it tingling in your spine? Like, I need to know. Like, do y'all ever feel that whenever somebody's talking about you, like, and then you click on and you feel like I'm talking about you? Like, are y'all that into? I just gotta know. Oh, look at that. That was a fucking laugh. I can laugh, though, and cry at the same time. And sometimes I'll be laughing in a very crazy manner that really makes, like, yesterday, Greg. I think that was probably, I don't know. But listen, let's play some Emmanuel X. I need to get my head around this bong over here. My head hurts, y'all. Did y'all know that headaches, migraines are generally my first sign of going into a manic state? Yeah. Oh, bet. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. Like, I do definitely think that my music is weird. We'll play something by me in a minute. But, like, my music does really well. But it's because the words are so OG that some people are just like, damn, like, did she just say that? Like, and because of the fact that it's decoded and it's, or not decoded, but it's scripted, and you kind of have to decode the lyrics, and it could really mean something for everyone, because, you know, perception's one thing, you know what I'm saying, and perception just is every day of every second, you know, the molecules around us, chemicals in our bodies, they all change, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I definitely can't walk away from a situation feeling what you feel, you know what I'm saying? We all walking away from it feeling something different. And for those that don't know, I actually talk about that in my book, The Need, which chapter 3 will be coming out probably incredibly soon. Because for those that don't know, when I'm in this mood is typically whenever I write. But we were talking about Emmanuel X, so we're going to circle back over. My head hurts. That's what I was talking about. Right here. But that's generally the first sign. I've had a headache for the past week. Typically I'll get my headaches, and then that's generally a sign that I'm about to go into a manic state. And while you wish you kind of had a control over it, you really don't. And like a lot of people think that it's like you running around looking crazy and shit, and it's not. It's when you bounce up out of bed and you start cleaning your house heavily and don't go to sleep, and then you get 2 days of no sleep, and then that starts where you get emotional. Like it's kind of like you can't really help doing it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll stay up one night cleaning or writing songs or whatever, like not realizing that, you're kind of dealing with something, and then the next day you don't get any rest, and you had a headache the day before, and then you fall, so you hurt your back, so then like you can't really sleep because of that too, so then, and lack of sleep with somebody with mental health issues is like taking off that safety, you know what I'm saying? It's like, safety's off, guns loaded. Like, I'm not joking either. I tell everybody, there's coping mechanisms to mental health. And one of them is meditation, and one of them is yoga, guided imagery, and if you've never done them, I definitely don't suggest you doing it the first time by yourself. If you're going to be doing guided imagery, probably do it with a therapist at first, and because it could be an incredibly emotional event. So if you are going to do guided imagery, while you can find them everywhere, and I'm not going to say that they're definitely not beneficial even without a therapist, I am going to say that if you are going to do any in-depth guided imagery, have a therapist with you. My first experience with guided imagery was with a therapist, and I'm very thankful that I did, because there's definitely a breakthrough period, and that can either break you or you can get through it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm thankful I was there with him. But we're gonna play Twerk City All Stars. Actually, we're gonna play Lantern Lion.
Live to
My fucking head is just. So if you ever find yourself in these following stages, number 1 is an overly active mood, like where you're happy and you're cleaning and you're running around and getting a lot of things done, and you feel like you have an energy that you've never had before, and it's not chemically induced by any means, but you're just feeling awesome, right? And this is pretty shitty, right? You'll feel awesome. So when you start feeling awesome, you know what I mean, and then what ends up happening is you're feeling so awesome, you're like, oh, I can get all this housework done, I can get some songs done, I can get this and that and the other done, and you don't realize that you're going into a manic state until it's pretty much too late. You know what I'm saying? And at least I could talk about it now, and like I recognize when I do go into them. I recognize the signs, but it doesn't mean that I still don't have control over that part yet. And I don't know that there is any control over that part. You know what I'm saying? But at least I've gotten to the point to where I've accepted, or not accepted, but it's acknowledged the signs. And then you go into like where you're not really getting too much sleep, and that kind of puts you, by day 3, you get in a pretty emotional state. And then you go into a shutdown state. And of course this looks different for everybody, but this is how it looks for me. And a shutdown state, and like, while it does not look like I am shut down too much right now, that lack of eye contact that I have with you guys is a shutdown state. People can look 100% functional and still be shut down, because we've gotten so good at being able to muster up the energy to be able to deal with people when we feel like shit. But the show has always been, and will continue to be, the mechanism that I use to kind of pull myself back to myself. And I've never done a show where I've been at this stage with my mental health. I'm not going to say I haven't had this since I just normally don't do shows whenever I feel like this. But this is definitely, it's been an emotional couple weeks, and, my daughter's life being, that shit's really emotional. And it feels like I'm coming down off of a fucking binge because that's pretty much how it feels for people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think that, like, you know, you look at somebody that's manic and they'll think that it's drug related because, like, they'll get all excited and then all of a sudden, like, they'll be hyper aroused and then they'll sleep for days. So, like, a lot of people think they went on benders, but in reality, their emotions are being stupid and something's pumping a little bit more than it should be or whatnot, and shit's just not going right or whatever. Something's triggering and we just don't recognize it before we can, like, handle it. So, but let's circle back around. Let's go ahead and play the music. Like I said, I didn't know what the show was going to look like tonight, but we're going to try to get this music to pull me back to me. And the fact that I keep trying to make eye contact with y'all is definitely a benefit. Like, the ability to be able to try to rein myself in is definitely new too, because I used to not be able to do that part.
Fuck all y'all, dog. I came out the mud.
I may look weak,
this shit.
but
Don't wanna be buddy bud. When I cop a Cuban link, get the diamonds to flood.
This is actually
cop
a
a
string.
diamond grill and get that bitch covered in blood. It's time to eat, nigga. I'm the best rapper. Kill every beat, nigga. Power in my words. Get the paralyzed out.
This gentleman will be on this show on August 31st, kicking off our September shows.
Tighten up your circle, nigga. Look your cipher loose. Effects ain't in the equation. What's the hypotenuse? If she not
I don't have much more charge on my phone, but we are streaming over to YouTube as well. So if you want to click over there, we are going to be doing some music. You can still send me tracks via DMs.
Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Look in my eyes, I see you weak, nigga. Game cutthroat.
Yeah, I definitely. I've got my two trying to reduce as much because caffeine's not good in this state. So I've got my juice, which is Crystal Light, and I'm trying to. I did my walk today. So I'm trying.
Ain't nobody as linguistic and sick with the flow. I've been getting this money, yes, I've been getting this dough. I've been looking for substance, but all I'm getting is hoes. So I might as well trick off, dick out like flick off. And I make sure to bust on her to get you pissed off. You rip off everything that I created. Most creative, so therefore most envied and hated, motherfucker. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Look in my eyes, I see you weak, nigga. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Lantern lion, regardless, both residing in Zion. Not a single one of these niggas hungry as I am. Gotta eye them at all times, cause niggas are snakes. The Garden of Eden is where all these niggas awake. In your paradise is where you most heavily tested. Envious minds suggested they want me dead or arrested. But I'm a blessed kid, so I ignore the malice. Plus my squad's guns light the sky like Aurora Borealis. Don't fuck with us. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga. Look in my eyes, I see you weak, nigga. Game cutthroat, I gotta eat, nigga.
That was Lantern Lion. That was Emmanuel X, Manny Gambo. A big shout out to him. You will actually be seeing him on the show on August 31st. He is kicking off our artist interview, so I'm definitely excited about that. Like I said, on August 31st, we're kicking off the September interviews with Manny Gambo. That was Lantern Lion. One more by him. I like this song.
You can help your child improve their math.
My cell phone's about to die, so I'm about to lose the feed over on YouTube or on Facebook, but you can
Jump to
definitely
the money
click
out the
over to
projects.
YouTube.
Me and Razor Boom and work together
Feel
like
like
chopsticks.
chopsticks.
Took her out the ghetto to the tropics. Smash pit. Everybody
Getting
raving to the Glock spit. Top skip. Jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. Niggas say I'm whacked. That nigga inebriated. My speech abbreviated. Keep it short, pain alleviated. Rated on the top, and I keep the size neatly faded. The beast created, and now niggas wanna say we related. I don't know you niggas from a can of paint, puffin' on that date, sippin' dirty drink. If you think that be tight, Rottweiler on my teeth, don't just walk it pipe. Big body, but can't pocket pipe when it's dark at night. Get all this money, still eating fried rice. From the Chinese spot, rockin' on my ice. Blue hood at South Beach, my Miami Vice. Sex on the beach, and she let me be twice. I do not know what you niggas be saying. I do not know what you niggas be on. But since you tuned in because you love hating, just please shut the fuck up and turn up my song. Five thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. Dot thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. Make them feel insecure, now they call you a narcissist. Flow and awesomeness, I rap so nice and take it that narcissist. Rewrite your definition, understand that your artist is hard to reach for pure passion. Dog, nobody as hard as this. Bitches feel the heat wave. I got the motherfucking flow that the streets crave, but the streets want a nigga in a deep grave. Look around and all I see is deep asleep slaves. Wake up and find your purpose. Don't ever think that your mind is worthless. Yeah, she bad, but what's beyond the surface? Pay for sex, but she claimed her time was purchased. Yeah, that's a finesse. I fuck for free with my hand up a dress. I need it all and won't settle for less. He obsessed on success and these hoes you'll impress. Thigh thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. Thigh thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. You could never associate me with mediocrity. Deeper than Socrates, kicking these philosophies. Devil in a new dress, telling me she proud of me, but my heart is way too pure for her eyes to see. I'ma manifest every single thing that I'ma be. Monopoly, getting richer, properly buying property. I'm positive, I'm no papa dipping and dodging poverty. Y'all niggas are just basic, my art is the highest quality. Hop out in a Ford just to flex, nigga. Ooh, talent scouting bad bitches in the checks, nigga. Ooh, her ass fat and she wanna give me sex. Ooh, ooh, say my name, she yell Emmanuel X, nigga. Thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks. Thigh thick, took her out the ghetto to the tropics, mosh pit. Everybody raving to the Glock spits, hop skip, jump to the money out the projects. Me and Razor Boom and work together like chopsticks.
That was Manny Gamboa. That is Emmanuel X. You can find him on all platforms. I use Google Translate more than I do use Word. Like, I really do. What's up, you guys? I'm actually probably about to close the show on Facebook, but I'm probably going to maybe do some gaming. I don't know. We have a show tomorrow, though, and tomorrow is definitely going to be a better day than today. So I'm going to end this feed over at Facebook. I'm going to stay, I think, on YouTube. Well, I'll be back on YouTube in a little bit. If you have SoundCloud, if you could send me over your tracks on SoundCloud, or at least a link to your artist profile, I would like to get you added in if you haven't already done so. For those that don't know, I have the playlist over at SoundCloud. The Momma Rapper News Network. That is the one that I played during the live feeds. So if you have SoundCloud during the live feeds while I'm gaming, so if you have SoundCloud, definitely make sure you send me over your SoundCloud link and say, hey, can you add this to your gaming playlist? Or just say you have permission to share this whenever, whatever you want it. If you want it added to just a show schedule, or if you want it played, you gotta be specific in the email, because people send me music while I'm on the show and I don't add it to those playlists unless you say, hey, I want to add this to all of your playlists. So if you're not on that playlist, let me know. There are playlists over at YouTube as well, also at Spotify, Apple, I don't know. You can go to ismellcakesandcandy.com and find all of the links that all of my profiles are on. And most of the music streaming apps, I have music playlists with artist music. So also, if you're looking for artist music, don't forget that. Tomorrow will be a better day, you guys, and I'll have my shit together a little bit better tomorrow. It's always a progress, and while I may look like I'm a complete fucking mess, this is mental health. This is what it actually It actually looks a lot worse than this. So, like, this is, like I said, me kind of coming out of my manic state. But it's real life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said from get-go, you guys are definitely a healing mechanism for me. I've definitely been open and honest about that from the get-go, that, you know, without my music forum, you know, y'all came first. So, like, before there was a Gregory, there was my music forum, and you guys have been here. Most of you guys know I've definitely not been shy about talking about my CPTSD. I have not been shy about talking about my mental health. It's not the first time that I've got on here and showed, you know, some signs of it. Even whenever I'm happy and smiling, we're having a good old time, there's still, I can see them in the videos. Therapists see them in the videos, but, you know, to the naked eye, you know, it's not going to be as noticeable. But for people that have dealt with people with mental health issues, there's a lot of people that have the Robin Williams effect in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can put on a big smile because it's a healing mechanism for us. But I'm not going to shy away from it and act like I don't have it, because not acknowledging it is a lot worse. So I've definitely been open and honest with it. You guys know that even by writing my music, and I told you guys I played something, and I played shit for my music. It's hard to play music from your own bucket, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with some of your own bullshit today. And see, all my music pretty much has to do with, like, mental health. This one don't, because this one has to do with that twat throttle that messaged me on Instagram bitching about my music, but he shared my music to Instagram on his profile, so a big fat shout out to him for getting me 4 additional Spotify listeners. What should we play tonight? Call of Duty? Doom? Wait.
Just a serpent, a sacrifice, a serpent. Barry was a serpent. Let's talk about it in person. You came surfing to circus? Now I got you jerking. Your heart hurting, I'm just earning. You need to get the learning. You crossed the line, that's concerning. You should do some soul searching. Are you flirting? Cause I'm curving. What you're trying, that ain't working. We manifest, we're merging. My rhyme's such a reversing. Wishing you were nursing. Is my defiance disturbing? Damn, I'm glad you don't determine. Cause this is my life, I'm unearthing. This is my service, this is my sermon. Is your chest turning? Now you're yearning. My lesson, those are for learning. That was your bridge, now you gotta burn in. Look how the tables are turning. There's my wording got to turning. You're cross and farming. You're arrogant, that's alarming. Just blah blah barking. You're boring and I'm boarding. With it you never recording. It's your own life, you should be exploring. Again, you're pretty boring. Here I come roaring, soaring. But again, thanks for adoring. Why don't you just take it a pen? You boring ass bitch.
So I don't know what game we're going to play. I'm going to actually do a poll on Instagram here in a few minutes. You can find out. I'm going to stay offline for, I don't know when we're going to go online, but I'll send out notifications. But I'm going to run the poll to find out what game we should play. Probably thinking Call of Duty. Thinking Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a very therapeutic game. So I also got this too that I need to work on. Oh, I binged Shazammed this week. Blah, blah, black sheep. Dr. Weathers sent me $10. I appreciate you so much. Aww. I actually already needed that. New music from artists you love. Wacky Wednesday. I don't know. I'm going to run the poll. I'm going to get off of here. I am going to go make me some more water and some more coffee. I'm going to let my phones charge a little bit, and then we will be back on to play some video games. So, like, if you know what kind of video game you think you want me to play, let me know. So, I'll be back on later, y'all.